Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a flip through for the month of August in my Hobonichi cousin, and I cannot tell you how excited I am because I just got an email this morning that my Hobonichi order has shipped. So hopefully the next video is me unboxing and kind of giving you my thoughts on what I bought. So make sure you like and subscribe and kind of keep an eye out for that because I'm so excited to unbox my first actual Hobonichi order, because this cousin that I got for 2023 I ordered from Amazon, so I've never ordered from the actual Hobonichi site. With all that being said, let's go ahead and get started and flip through all of my August spreads. So the first thing I'm going to flip through is my year at a glance, which I use for a mood and habit tracker. Looking for the month of August, I have up top my subscriber count. I like to kind of see how my channel is progressing. For the month of August, I gained about 52 subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing. For my pages read, I read 3,895 pages. I do have a reading channel that I'll link somewhere on the screen. I will be doing a August wrap up. So if you'd like to see kind of how or what books made up that 3,000 page count, then make sure you check out that channel. And then here I have my habits. So I have in the gray, I have workouts, yellow is closing my rings, I have blue is 64 ounces of water, and then pink is Etsy sales. For the most part, workout and closing my rings, I did pretty much do all of the planned workouts. There were a couple that I ended up either not doing or I had to kind of shift the workout, and that's only because I had to take a new job, or I didn't have to. I kind of transitioned into a new role which had much busier workload, and so I had to kind of adjust things. So that was kind of on par with what I expected once I took that new position. But I did pretty well. I did not miss a lot of workouts, but I definitely could have done better. The blue, I have not been very good about drinking water. So I have my Stanley here. I pretty much have it with me all the time, but I don't know, but I drink about one of these because this is a 40-ounce Stanley. I drink one, but my goal is to drink at least 64 ounces, which is about 1.5. I don't know what it is. I just have not been I have not done well with water, but I'm trying. And then in August, I also had 4 Etsy orders. I do have an Etsy shop which sells stickers. Right now, they're primarily related to reading, and then I have some Big Brother, Big Sister type things. And then mood-wise, you can see I pretty much say I use 6 different moods. So I have from the top is happy or good. I have tired, meh, it's kind of like just those average days. There's annoyed, cranky, and sad. So for the most part, my typical trend for my moods is I'm usually in the happy, good, or tired. That's usually the two that I stick in, which as you can see, I pretty much was in happy or tired, these 2 columns. There were a couple of days this month that I had annoyed, and then I had at the very end of the month, I did have a sad, which I'll kind of get into those when I go through the daily pages, because I do kind of mention what happened during those days. But overall, I had a pretty good month. Everything was kind of on par with what I typically do. There wasn't anything that really had a bunch of issues. So overall, the month was pretty good this month. And then on my monthly pages, I use this as a weather tracker. I like to see kind of what the weather is and what the temperature is. And then at the bottom, I'll put down what the highs ranged and then the lows kind of ranged. So for the month of August, the highs in my local area was between 81 and 98. And then the lows were 59 to 75. And I'm hoping that in the month of September, that definitely starts to go down, because I am all for fall. I'm definitely a fall person. I like cooler weathers. I love long sleeves. I love sweaters. So I'm very excited to have those start to go down. And then now we're going to move into the weekly pages. So we'll start on this page. So this is the July the 31st through August the 6th. Now I use this functionally. If you've never seen any of my videos, I use this as a functional planner. So I like to annotate my work times, what I do during those work days. I like to annotate my appointments and kind of see what actually happens during my day. And then I include emojis and stickers to kind of fill in the gaps. So for this first week, I did use some stickers that I have on my Etsy shop. They're I think I call them line flowers or something like that, but I really like them because they're on clear base or the clear backing. So they look very simplistic, but it does give you a little bit of something in it. I have now changed this, which I don't know exactly when in the month of August I did, but I usually would track my breakfast, lunch, and dinner down at the bottom just because I like to see what I was eating. But it got to the point throughout the year that I didn't find this as important as I did before. I am actually having a doctor's appointment in September, so that might change depending on how my labs work out. But I don't do this anymore, and sometime during the month this will change. I just don't remember when, and it would be the very next week. So this is the week of August the 7th through the 13th. In this week, I have normally the very top part is all my work stuff and personal appointments. Usually from 9 until about 11 is my reading time. And then I have usually just washi or something at the bottom to kind of fill in the extra gap. So this week, what I was super excited about is I was reading Fourth Wing, which love that book. I have already immediately, actually, after I finished Fourth Wing, I immediately pre-ordered Iron Flame, which comes in November, and I cannot wait. I've already cannot wait until November the 8th. So super excited for that. And then I also I started actually after this, during this middle part of Friday, I started Too Hot to Handle, which is a rom-com type book. And then I ended up finishing it that night. I started Vacation Wars on the next day, and then I finished Vacation Wars on Sunday. So that was good. I also started Red Rising, which took me a lot longer to read, just because it's a sci-fi type book and it's typically not my normal genre that I like to read. In this week, I ended up using, I'll link it somewhere, but I do have another video where I opened my first Temu order. I got a bunch of stickers. These were some of the stickers that I ended up getting and decided to use them as decorations, which I really do like how this turned out. So this is much more of a brownish neutral theme. And so we did that. This month I had Red Rising. I started another book, Behind the Nets. I started and finished It Happened One Summer. Still reading Red Rising. Like I said, definitely took me much longer than I typically do, just because it's a sci-fi book. So there's this. And then we have August the 21st through the 27th. I used a Coffee Monsters Co. subscription stickers. So I have this blue washi with this silver foiling, which I love. And then we also have a lot of the aliens and the stars and nighttime type theme, which I really, really enjoyed. This week, I finished Red Rising. I started Gods of Malice. And then I believe I finished Gods of Malice here. I just didn't write it down. Started Queens of Shadows. And then I didn't finish that, I think, until September. And then this is the week of August the 28th through September the 3rd. And this is using the first day of school or something like that kit from Coffee Monsters Co. This was a kit I wanted to use on the first day of school or the first week of school, but it didn't get here in time, so I decided to use it for this week. And so far for this week, I was still reading Queens of Shadow, finished it when? Still reading, finished it. And then I started Yours Truly, finished Yours Truly, and then I've started The Bodyguard. So a bunch of reading happening. There were definitely books this month that took me much longer to read, but that's what happens. So that is my weekly spreads. Now we're going to jump to my daily, which I use as a journal. And the first page of every month, I usually have as my like reading log. So I'll have all the books that I've read and then their rankings. So for the month of August, I've read 8 books, or I finished, I will say. I was also reading in August Queen of Shadows, but I didn't finish it until September. So that's going to be on my September list. But we have books read. They all were pretty much 4.0 or above. I did read Fourth Wing, which was a 5-star. And then we had Gods of Malice, which is a romance, kind of like a dark romance. And it was 4.75. So those were kind of like the highlights for my reading this month. And then I did have down here, I did transition, like I said, to a new position effective 28 August, but I was the person who I was taking over the position for was still kind of in the office. And so I was slowly going to all of her meetings and just sitting in and kind of getting a idea of what this new role entails. And so I was doing that for about 2.5 weeks. And you're going to see that my journal entries, some of them are pretty big, or like a full page, and then some of them are literally just a paragraph because I only get to write in the morning and then my day just is super busy. So the 1st of August, okay, we'll just go ahead and backtrack. So the way that I journal, I will write down what's happening during my day, and then I use stickers to kind of document important highlights that happen during that day. So sometimes there's stickers and sometimes they're not. So it kind of helps me clue in as to what was happening. So for the 1st of August, I did have a order that came through from Coffee Monsters Co. So I spent a good part of the day kind of organizing and reorganizing all of my stickers. We had August the 2nd was the first day of school. So I have a 1st grader now and an 8th grader. And my 1st grader was very excited to go back to school, which was exciting. August the 3rd, it was just kind of I was tired because, first day of school and trying to get back in the rhythm and all that kind of stuff. So I was kind of exhausted on Thursday, but I did spend a little bit of the afternoon in my hammock, and this is the view that night. It had a very like pinkish, purplish sky. It was beautiful. And then I was sore, I guess. Oh, I had a bike ride on Friday, but then I also had on Thursday, the workout I did was legs. So I was like super sore after the bike ride. It didn't click that probably the bike ride was not a good idea after I had just like destroyed my legs the day before, but live and learn. It worked. So Saturday the 5th, and I think it's because school has started. My 6-year-old has had much more of an attitude lately, and this Saturday was the first day the first time we actually had to give like a punishment for her because she was just not wanting to listen. She was being very like disruptive and not wanting to pay attention and not wanting to do what I was telling her to do. So while we were out shopping, she was being so bad, I had to basically tell her that she lost all privileges to her tablet, which drew another meltdown. But, I had to do something to kind of show her the ramifications for her actions. And what was funny is she typically doesn't even use her tablet in the afternoons. It's only for like mornings whenever she's eating breakfast and sometimes during lunch when she's eating lunch. But very rarely does she really mess with her tablet in the afternoon. But just knowing that I took away her tablet like was a complete meltdown. But it showed her that she just couldn't act the way she was acting without some kind of ramification. So this was the first day that happened. And I think it's, like I said, because school started and she's just trying, her world kind of got turned upside down. But, that was a not fun day for me because I was very stressful with her disrupting and being difficult during our day. So this was August the 7th. This was my youngest had been going to gymnastics, like an open gym, but this was the first day that she actually had a true gymnastics class, which she absolutely loved. She could not wait to go back. It was wonderful. She loved it. August the 8th was, I Swear He's an Angel, is because I was reading Fourth Wing and I was about, probably 40% or so into it. And I was like loving Zayden, and I enjoyed the story, and so that was all from me reading. I also had a symposium from work, so I got to go to a big conference center and got a bunch of like swag that I could use at my desk, which was really fun. Got to see all the different like contractors and things, so that was exciting. August the 9th, my kids had been in school for exactly a week, and they had an early release because storms were like coming through my local area. Where I live now, it seems like the school district is very sensitive to rain and storms and have a lot of early releases. I don't know if it's because this area is more prone to tornadoes and, you know, things like that, but they were at school for a week and they already got released early because of weather. So that was fun. This was me finishing Fourth Wing. I had like a little blurb here of how much I loved it and how sad I was and how I was crying. And I found this fan art that I had to put down of Violet and Xaden, and then the dragons. We had this, not really a whole lot going on Friday. I did have on Saturday, I went to Target and bought Masters of Death by Olivia Blake. I've never read her books before, but the book cover was like a teal book cover with like a skeleton on it, and it just, I don't know, the book cover got me, so I had to buy it. I still have not read it, but I cannot wait. I'm hoping I'll be able to read it either this month or next month. August 13th, I took my youngest to like an indoor gym because it was super hot. Like it was 95 degrees that day, but humidity makes it to where it's over 100 and you just don't want to go outside. So, and then we had on Monday, this was another gymnastics day for my little one. He loved it. The 15th, we had another order from Coffee Monsters Co. This one was a restock of my tired and coffee stickers. And then I also bought some YouTube stickers for like me whenever I'm like uploading and editing and recording and all that kind of stuff. August 16th, just a normal day. I did write a little blurb on the book that I read. Thursday, this was another day that I just didn't have a whole lot going on, or I had a lot going on, I just didn't have enough time to write. Friday, I finished It Happened One Summer. This was a little blurb on it. Saturday and Sunday, my weekends are usually errand weekends, so sometimes I don't have pictures to kind of put here, but I did on this weekend decide I wanted to try out my TWSBIs again with my fountain ink. I was going through my drawers and I saw my fountain pens and decided I wanted to try it again. And so I have the TWSBI Fine here, and this is the TWSBI Extra Fine using the same ink. And I like the idea of fountain pens, but I've realized the TWSBIs at least are too like thick when I write. Like the body of the pen is too thick for me to write comfortably, and I don't enjoy it. I like the feel of a normal pen, and so I just couldn't do it. So I did the Fine on Saturday, I did the Extra Fine on Sunday, and then I just ended up switching right back to my Muji pens because those are just my favorite pens that I like to use in my Hobonichi cousin. So we have the 21st and 22nd, nothing really, no extra pictures or anything, so there wasn't anything that really happened. This was me just, talking about work, same thing. I did have here, I had a little blurb saying I've decided I'm not going to work out. I just, I had too much going on. I just wasn't feeling it. And then I said, never mind. I decided to work out. And that's only because I didn't feel like trying to make up that day on a Saturday, because typically Saturdays are my off days. And I just didn't want to have to shift my schedule and then have to work out on Saturday. So I decided to work out anyways. I did also have on this day, this is the annoyed day, or this is one of my annoyed days. Actually, I don't know if I wrote it down as annoyed. I don't think I wrote it down as annoyed on my mood tracker, but I was getting kind of irritated because my youngest has to do a bunch of referrals for other doctors for different things, and I don't know what it is, but my pediatrician has so many problems trying to do referrals, and every time a referral gets submitted, I always have to call back once and sometimes 2 and 3 times to make sure it was done, or it was done incorrectly, that needs to be fixed, or they said they did it and then the doctor never gets it, or something always goes on. So I was getting irritated because I had a referral that was supposed to be done. It wasn't done. I had to shift an appointment because I didn't have the referral done in time. And this was a very frustrating day because of that. On August the 25th, I got another order from Coffee Monsters Co. This was my pre-order that I did. So I got the matcha bag. I got 6 washi strips. So I got these little guys here. We have the little food. I love this one. This is like the brain mental tired washi. We have pink sleeping ones. We have books, which obviously I'm gonna love, and then the cleaning one. So I have these 6 washi. I also bought 4 of her stamps just to try out. So that came in. I also had the Hobonichi lineup was online, so we were able to kind of see all the different things that Hobonichi was releasing for 24, which super excited. Saturday was an errand day. I didn't even have like a to-do list. It was just go, go, go. We had a bunch of stuff that ended up doing just running errands, and I didn't have an idea of anything I needed to do. It was just to get out of the house and run some errands, and it was super hot and sweaty that day. We have the 27th and the 28th. It was, you know, Sundays are like my cleaning days, so that's pretty much all that I did all day. Monday was back to work, and that's kind of how that was. August the 29th. This was my sad day that I did annotate on my mood and habit tracker. So this day was a difficult day because my daughter, my youngest, had a dentist appointment. She was super, super, super excited. She was looking forward to it. She was excited while we were sitting in the lobby. She was saying how excited she was. She was going to go back to the dentist office all by herself. I was going to stay in the lobby and read my book. And so she was very much looking forward to it. And as soon as they called her name, she had a complete meltdown. She crawled underneath an end table, like screaming and crying and trying to like bury herself. And I don't know what it was, but she was very reluctant and scared. They weren't even going to clean her teeth. It was our second visit to this dentist, and it was more just a familiarization with the dentist and get her comfortable going. And it took about 10 minutes to get her just out. And then I had to physically like carry her and just kind of walk around the dentist office. They gave her some like toys. They, gave her toothbrush and just had us sit in like the area. And luckily nobody else was there, so it wasn't like we were disturbing any of the other kids. But she was very, very, very upset. And so that was very difficult. Like I actually got emotional there because it's a lot to take in, and you don't want to see your kid upset. And the dentist was so sweet, and I think that's what got me. Like, he was such a kind dentist and very understanding. And so like I was sitting with her on my lap, and just the way he was talking, and he was like, we're never going to do anything that's going to hurt you. We just want you to be comfortable. And like, he had even said that if she, in a week, decides that she's excited to go back to the dentist, to let him know, and then we can try to do it again. And it was a lot. And I got emotional. Like, I'm getting emotional now. Just kind of thinking back to that day. And it's very difficult sometimes. So this was a mental day for me. And so we had that in the morning, and then in the afternoon, the referral that I was already trying to get fixed was wrong again. And so not only did I have the morning stress, but I also had the referral issues. So I was having to talk to the new doctor about the specialist we're trying to see, to try to get everything done. It turns out that the referral was sent correctly. It was just my insurance had some kind of weird thing going on in their system. So there wasn't anything that was done incorrectly on the pediatrician's part. So we were able to keep that appointment. But it was a very stressful day just because emotion-wise, I was all over the place. And in addition to all this, I was still working. So I took leave in the morning. After that, took my youngest back to school. Then I had to go into work to finish out my day. And then in the afternoon, I was dealing with the referral. And so it was a very hard day for me this day. So that was not fun. And then we have August the 30th. Luckily, there wasn't anything really going on that day because I definitely needed it after this day. And then we're on to August the 31st. This was the day that released at 9 o'clock at night for Central Time. The Hobonichi store opened so I could do my order. So I did my purchase. I was very, very excited. This was the stamps that I got from Coffee Monsters Co. I was able to use the stamps for this one. I really like this. So if you are curious, if you have stamps, the way that I did this was I used my black Tombow dual tip brush pen and kind of brushed on the back of the stamp, and then I was able to stamp it, and it does not really bleed through. You have like a little ghosting, but it's, you know, Samoy paper, they're always going to be something that you can see through. But that's how I did that, which I really enjoyed. So I did have my Hobonichi order, and yeah, that was pretty much it. That takes care of my August flip through. You can kind of see what I've done so far in September, but that's what I did. I had a very good month. Overall, I did have some concerns and some difficult days, but overall a fairly good month. With that, I want to thank everybody for watching. If you've made it to this point, drop me an emoji of like an excited emoji, or like a happy, you know, something like that, because I don't know if anybody else, if you're watching my channel, then you probably all like Hobonichis, or you're somehow in the Hobonichi realm or the planning realm. So put down some kind of like excited emoji for this video. So if you made it here, do that so I know that you made it to the end. And with that, thank you so much for watching. I think my next video is going to be me unboxing the Hobonichi, depending on how fast it gets here through FedEx. But yeah, make sure you watch and see what my next videos come up. I have a lot of like exciting videos planned for the rest of the year, and I can't wait to record them. So I will see everybody in my next videos. Bye.